It was the summer of 1981. I had just graduated from high school. And we were living in Redline at the time. We moved there from the Brogue. And our neighbor's daughter moved back home. And I'm going to call them the Smiths, not their real name. And the Smith's daughter, I considered an adult woman. She was in her 20s, mid, upper 20s. I was just a boy, legally an adult, but at 18, I think most guys are still boys. I know I was. So one day, she came home from the pool, and her bedroom window was right across from my bedroom window with an alley in between. And I was looking out the window, and I saw her looking out the window. And she opened up the curtain and took her swimsuit off in front of me. Now, I had a healthy interest in other people and making friends with them also. And let me tell you, I was impressed. I didn't even know her name. I didn't really care. So she showed me what she had, and then she closed the curtains and got dressed, I assume. This happened just a few more times after that. And then I went to college. And after my brother graduated from high school in 1982, my mom sold the house and downsized, and I had an apartment in a college. At the college, in the summers, I would work on the grounds crew, and one of the jobs that I got was I was assigned to be a painter. I had plenty of practice painting because my mom would give my brother and I each a bucket of water and a paintbrush and tell us to go paint the porch. And that would keep us busy because it would dry and then we would start over. And the goal was to make it all wet at one time. So I got some practice at painting. And my high school wrestling coach had a painting business in the summers, which I think teachers do. He hired me as a painter. One of the very first houses we painted was my old neighbor's house. And of course, I volunteered right away to paint her bedroom windows and the porch ceiling. Now, we never volunteered to paint porch ceilings because scraping and sanding them is horrible. But I volunteered on that one because I knew what might be inside. I wasn't sure if she still lived there or not. Guess what? She did. She opened up her curtains, smiled, and there was only an 1/8-inch piece of glass between me and her, we'll call them mammary glands. They were quite impressive. I still didn't know her name, and I knew there was never going to be any touching. This was all a show, but I enjoyed it. So you might say, I wouldn't call it a love, but I do love summer. And it's not really the one naked woman that I saw in the summer. I loved my jobs in the summer. I loved being with the guys that I liked. My wrestling coach, he's my dad. I liked hanging out with him. That's the part I loved about it. And being a teacher, you think, well, I've done nothing but play around in the summers. Actually, I've always looked forward to the summer for the different jobs I did. And painting is one of them. I actually love painting. I know, it's a sick obsession. Who would love it? I do, because you can see what you get done. It's great. But I taught some cool classes in the summer also. I taught classes on the deck of a skipjack in the Chesapeake Bay. I loved watching students eat their first raw oyster right out of the shell that they just caught out of the bay. That was so cool. I taught coral reef ecology in Bermuda. Oh, that was horrible. No, it wasn't. It was great. I love these jobs. So even though I guess you could say I had the summers off, it was the work that I did that I loved so much. I also taught a class here in York County. It was a field studies class. And my wife's son was in that class. And that's where I met her. So you might say, I worked to find love, and she didn't even expose herself to me yet. I'm still waiting. So maybe she's picking up the hint, and maybe tonight. No, she's shaking her head no. I prepped her for this story because I didn't want her to be surprised. And she asked me, well, didn't I tell Mr. Smith what his daughter was doing? Are you kidding? Then it would stop. So yeah, I love summer.